Here's more wrestling news for December 9th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include, it's disheartening to watch. Former NXT superstar lashes out at NXT 2.0. Update on Hacksaw Jim Duggan's battle with prostate cancer. AEW wrestler fears he'll be sent to jail very soon by corrupt officials. New details announced for first AEW pay-per-view of 2022. Why Vince McMahon refuses to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Tony Khan comments on Raw running show in Long Island days before AEW Dynamite. Title match confirmed for Christmas Day Rampage. Matches added to next week's AEW Winter is Coming special, and more. We are kicking off today with NXT 2.0, which, despite a revamp that was meant to appeal to younger fans, has failed to win over many members of the WWE Universe. The company didn't see how Bronson Reed was going to fit into NXT 2.0, and he was released from his contract on August 6th, just over a month before NXT 2.0's pilot episode. Reed never worked on NXT 2.0, but he's been watching the show closely and feels that things aren't working out, as he told Fightful. The thing I like least about it is, Hunter had such a vision for what NXT was, and that whole vision is just gone now. It seems to be the end of the black and gold, like that's it. It's just disheartening. I'm a huge pro wrestling fan and I love WWE. I love what they do, but I saw Raw and SmackDown as their entertainment shows and I saw NXT as a pro wrestling show. And now I feel like it's just another entertainment show. Reed's comments are the opposite of Shawn Michaels, who recently praised NXT 2.0 as the only place which can truly create new stars, but we'll have to wait and see whether the early success of Braun Breaker, Von Wagner, and others leads to success on the main roster. In late October, WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan announced that he was battling prostate cancer, which came after an emergency surgery earlier in the month. In mid-November, Duggan posted an update saying he was feeling much better, and now the former WCW television champion has given his best piece of news to date. On Instagram, Duggan shared a video where he announced that he is prostate cancer-free, and this is the second time he's beaten cancer. The first time, Duggan beat kidney cancer 20 years ago, and after openly announcing his prostate cancer, said that he had been forced to cancel all his bookings for the rest of 2021. There's no telling when Duggan will be making appearances again, but he has said he hopes to be back on the road in 2022, and we'd like to offer a hearty congratulations to Duggan on this victory. Over to AEW now, as Jack Evans has made some concerning posts on his Twitter about the police in Mexico. In the tweets, which were posted in both English and Spanish, Evans said that officers from the Del Valle Police Department have extorted him for around 7,000 pesos, equivalent to $350, in the last 4 days alone, and expects to be arrested on false drug charges very soon since he refuses to pay any more. Evans certainly sounded urgent with his series of tweets, and in a follow-up said that he's filed an official complaint and got witnesses together, claiming there's a lot of them. Evans added that he's laying low for the time being and his account has been flooded with support, despite the AEW wrestler never explaining how he got in this situation in the first place. Jack Evans' last match in AEW was on the October 24th edition of Dark, where he lost to Eddie Kingston, and this will be his last match if Del Valle PD have their way, according to the 39-year-old wrestler. We certainly hope Jack is okay by the time AEW Revolution rolls around, as the date and location has been announced. During Dynamite, it was confirmed that Revolution 2022 will take place on March 6th at the Additional Financial Arena in Orlando, Florida. The show will be the culmination of a 3-day spectacular, kicking off with Rampage on March 4th and a Fan Fest event on the 5th. Tickets for Revolution 2022 will go on sale Friday, December 17th at 10 a.m. Eastern, and if history is to be repeated, expect seats to sell very quickly for Tony Khan's first pay-per-view of the new year. Back to WWE, as the company's Hall of Fame has some of wrestling's biggest names, from Bruno Sammartino to Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and more. With that said, arguably the biggest contributor to professional wrestling hasn't been inducted, and that's none other than Vince McMahon. The man who turned wrestling from a set of isolated territories to the global spectacle it is today, McMahon's omission from the Hall of Fame is startling, and on his podcast, Jim Cornette explained why the chairman isn't a Hall of Famer. Vince will never go into the Hall of Fame as long as he's still alive. That is one thing he constantly tells everybody. He gets mad if they don't listen. He doesn't want anyone to thank him on their acceptance speeches. I don't know if he wants to be humble and lovable like a shoeshine boy, but he knows the way the boys are. Cornette added that McMahon sees wrestlers thanking him as a problem that gets him heat from the fans, as realistically, everyone who comes out owes some of their success to the WWE chairman. A former WWF champion, ECW champion, and Royal Rumble winner, McMahon is certainly deserving of an induction, but that won't happen until the chairman isn't around to hear what people have to say. Since AEW was founded, the company has insisted that they don't focus on WWE's programming, but that simply isn't the case. From the weekly references to WWE to holding shows in direct competition, AEW is well aware of the biggest name in town. Last night's Dynamite was in New York's UBS Arena, which came not long after WWE hosted Raw in the exact same venue. Speaking about the competition he claims he doesn't focus on, Tony Khan sat down with News 12 and claimed he had no idea WWE were hosting a show in the same venue. "I just came to run a show in Long Island and it's like, hey, you know, they're jumping to the front of the line, run a show ahead of me, try to beat me to market. Well, how did it work out?" When asked if he would become a regular character on AEW TV, Khan said that it would run counter to his philosophy for AEW, which is to get as much great wrestling on screen. Khan's company has unquestionably been a success, often beating WWE in the key 18 to 49 demographic, but despite the recent war of Long Island, Khan still claims that he keeps himself unaware of what WWE is doing. More from AEW as Christmas Day will fall on a Friday this year, which means that there will be a December 25th edition of AEW Rampage. During Dynamite, a huge title match was announced, as TNT champion Sammy Guevara will defend against Cody Rhodes on the Christmas Day episode. Rhodes, the only two-time TNT champion, has struggled to win over fans as of late, but we'll have to see if a possible third reign with the TNT title will do him any favors later this month. Guys, we have some breaking news as WWE released Jeff Hardy from his contract on Thursday, according to Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp. Hardy's release comes after he was sent home from the road last weekend. As we reported previously, he tagged out of a six-man main event at Saturday's WWE live event in Edinburgh, Texas, after appearing more sluggish as the match went on. Hardy immediately disappeared through the crowd as security followed him. He never returned and did not appear for the post-match celebration with Drew McIntyre and King Xavier Woods after the win over the Bloodline. Hardy missed Sunday's live event in Corpus Christi and was replaced by Rey Mysterio. It was reported then that he had been sent home. Hardy was also scheduled to team with McIntyre to face Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss on this week's SmackDown. Hardy has a history of substance misuse with both drugs and alcohol, which has led to him getting arrested multiple times. His most recent publicly known issues occurred during his latest WWE run, as he was arrested in July 2019 for public intoxication and in October 2019 for driving while impaired. Jeff Hardy said during an interview in September 2020 that he would be done in WWE if he were to screw up again. Hardy is one of nearly 80 in-ring performers to get released by WWE this year, but while most of the others were due to budget cuts, it doesn't appear as though Hardy's release was financially motivated. This most recent WWE run for Hardy began at WrestleMania 33 in 2017 when he and Matt returned after being away since 2009. Here's hoping Jeff Hardy can get everything figured out so that he can continue wowing his fans with his skills and sheer bravado, even if it means shifting over to AEW or another wrestling organization. And we're ending with next week's AEW Dynamite, which will be the company's Winter is Coming special event. We already know that the show will see AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page defend against Bryan Danielson, but that's not all announced for the show. In an updated match card, AEW announced that the Dynamite Diamond Ring Finals will take place between MJF and Dante Martin, as will a women's division match between Hikaru Shida and Serena Deeb. It was at last year's Winter is Coming that Kenny Omega beat Jon Moxley to become AEW World Champion, as well as the debut of Sting. And next week's show will have a lot to live up to if it wants to match what happened 12 months ago. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.